Hey, what's going on, people? Your boy Mad Mike from Mad Mike Sports. Check us out, man, at Atlanta Falcons Nation on the way to 5K. We got a couple of things that going on today, but we have a show tonight at the six-man combo with six-man K-Styles. The host, six-man K-Styles, got a fun conversation. You guys have not checked out our polls. Not only on 6MK Live, but Mad Mike Sports. I think it's a conversation that we're definitely gonna have some fun with. If you don't know, now you know. All right, we have a giveaway. All right, gotta get Coach Unchained, aka Coach Will, to 500. All right, so in order to get your name into this contest, gotta go over and subscribe to Coach Unchained. Get him to 500. I think we're like 20 or so, maybe 30 or so away from 500, and get him monetized. So head over to Coach Unchained. All right, all the links will be not only in the description, but it will be in the comment section for you guys on YouTube. If you're listening by way of Spotify and Apple Podcasts, you can check us out also again on Mad Mike Sports. All the links to these particular videos and channels will be in the video description, so be sure to check those out. Again, this is a giveaway to help get Coach to 500. All right, so again, tonight we got the six-man K-Styles at 6 p.m. on 6MK Live. All right, we gotta get him to 500. But these are the questions that I have, and I think this is something that we're definitely going to do more of, and I think a lot of people definitely will enjoy this. But these are the questions that we have so far, and again, you can keep these questions coming. And I think for the most part, this first one is already interesting because the perceived notion that the Atlanta Falcons defensively aren't really doing their thing, and you have the Bucks. They have a couple of injuries, big time injuries, and this comes from Wyatt Carson. Wyatt asks, my question is, with all the injuries the Bucks have right now, what is our chance of sweeping the Bucks this season? And this question, we actually talked about this a little bit more. Shout out to the real Rock Riley. He's been one of the Bucks journalists for quite some time. All right, reporters. He's been doing this for well over 10, 15 years with the Bucks, man. And like I said, we had a great show with him last night on the Heavy Hitters Live channel, man. So shout out to the real Rock Riley for coming on and representing his Bucks. And like I said, man, a wonderful job last night. So again, man, I think the question for the Atlanta Falcons of having such a poor outing, having your head coach come out and say some of these players took it for granted. All right, they took it for granted, and they did not come prepared. These guys took Seattle for granted, and they came out, got smoked at home. And to be honest, man, these are the types of things that can happen. So the question that Wyatt asks I think this is a good question. A lot of people want to know whether or not our chances of sweeping the Bucks, can we really do it? And I think, Drew actually talked about it. I talked about it as well, is that the Atlanta Falcons have to change the narrative. Falcons have to change the narrative. The narrative for the Atlanta Falcons is they lose to teams that they should beat. And this has been something that has been an issue even with Matt Ryan. All right. Even in the Mike Vick days, the Atlanta Falcons have had trouble beating teams that they should be beating. And this is a problem. This is how the Atlanta Falcons fan base is continuously, switching and changing and this and that. It's like, I know there are fans out there that will never switch up regardless if you win, you lose, they're going to be down. But for those that are not, built that way, this is a problem. They're not going to be okay with the Falcons consistently losing to teams that they should beat. And this is a team that you should beat, especially when you have a Hall of Famer and Mike Evans going down. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks with the hamstring issue. And then you have Godwin that went down with a broken ankle. This is a problem. All right, this is a problem that the Atlanta Falcons must avoid altogether. You cannot lose to the Bucs. They have a quarterback. They have a pretty, would I say veteran quarterback? I guess you can say he's a veteran quarterback. Compared to a lot of the young quarterbacks in the league right now, he's a veteran quarterback in Baker Mayfield. He has a couple of guys and Sterling Shepard that he still has somewhat of chemistry with. So they definitely have offensive pieces, and I think the running back Bucky Irvin, he's out with a foot injury. Don't know if he's going to be able to play. I would suggest that he would play, and I would game plan if I were Raheem that he will play. So my opinion, man, when you got a quarterback like that and you can run the ball like these guys have, in the Bucs for the most part, they've done a pretty good job. I'm not going to say they're elite running game, but they've done a pretty good job. They had a pretty good outing against the Atlanta Falcons. The first meeting, I think they put up like 150 or so rushing yards. So they did a wonderful job of running the ball against the Atlanta Falcons. So that's something that the Atlanta Falcons have to improve. I think they're 30th in the league in run defense. Don't quote me on that, but I know they're definitely bottom of the league in stopping the run. So that is a question for the Atlanta Falcons. So they have to improve in regards to that. So there are ways that the Bucs can be at the Atlanta Falcons, but when you just look at what the Atlanta Falcons have, I think they have a pretty good quarterback in Kirk Cousins. Obviously, he had one of his best games against the Bucs this season with 509 yards, set a franchise record, breaking Matt Ryan's record. But when you look at it, man, the Falcons have the necessary tools to get this W. Okay, they have the necessary tools to get this W, and even if it's on the road, the Falcons have played a lot better on the road for the most part this season. They just haven't done what we thought that they should at home, but they played much better on the road. And the defensively, how we gotten consistent pressure. We haven't gotten consistent pressure. We've gotten pressure. We've had games where we gotten pressure, but we're not getting the sacks. And I think those are the things that are question marks for the Atlanta Falcons, getting the sacks and stopping the run. Falcons are pretty good as far as third down is concerned. They're inconsistent as far as that is concerned too. But I would not take the Bucs lightly. So in short terms, can the Atlanta Falcons, with the chance of sweeping the Bucs this year? I think it's a pretty much an 85% chance that the Falcons sweep them. I don't think the Bucs have enough offensively to be able to keep up with the weapons that the Falcons have on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, with their cover guys, you can take advantage of our linebackers, because I don't think our linebackers are playing well right now, especially with Troy Anderson being out. They're definitely going to need Caden Ellis as well as Nate Landman. I know he's dealing with some sort of issue. I believe it's a shoulder injury. Don't think it's a major issue, but those are concerns as far as our linebacker core is concerned. So, like, at the end of the day, man, I think it's about an 85% chance that the Falcons end up winning this game and sweeping the Bucs to pretty much, put themselves at the forefront of the NFC South and winning the NFC South and, hosting the playoff game. They have to get this. This is one of the most important games, if not the most important game of the season. All right, so the second one has come from The Chosen. He asks, how mad would you be if we were to trade Michael Penix for an elite rusher? I don't know how good Penix will be, but my thing is, and this is something that I talked about earlier, I believe personally that the Atlanta Falcons will indeed they will be in the playoffs. I believe the Atlanta Falcons will be in the playoffs. But the thing is with this, and I think this is a sensitive subject that a lot of people don't want to think about, but this is something that you have to think about. And this is, I've done a live show and I've done a video on this. And the thing is if you personally believe that the Atlanta Falcons can win a championship, if the Atlanta Falcons are good enough to win a championship, then the conversation for trading Michael Penix must be had. Okay. You have to have that conversation as a general manager. You have to have this conversation as a head coach. You have to have this conversation as an owner. Why? Because the goal is to win championships. The Atlanta Falcons are an organization that is dying. The city is dying for an NFL championship. We want that above anything and everything. And I think it would complete this city if we were to win an NFL championship. We've won one with the Georgia Bulldogs, obviously with Georgia Bulldogs, two-time champs. And for the most part, the state of Georgia, very proud of that. And then you have the Braves, they did their thing and they won the championship. So, and then you look at soccer with Atlanta United. So Georgia is used to championships of some sort. So the Atlanta Falcons, if the focus is to win a championship, then bringing in an elite rusher like a Myles Garrett, like in my opinion, is he elite? That's a conversation to have. But a guy like, not Aiden Hutchinson, but Max Crosby. Max Crosby is a pretty good defensive lineman. You look at him, I think he, for the most part, he knows his days are numbered for the most part, or he's open to the fact of leaving the Las Vegas Raiders because the Raiders are just a mess right now. And now you have a guy like Tom Brady that has become a minority owner for the Las Vegas Raiders. So they may be trying to do some different things, being that he has a voice in the organization right now. So who knows that they might change the philosophy as far as that's concerned. So I would say that the Atlanta Falcons at some point, in the front office, I don't think it's something that will happen, but I think it's a conversation that they have to have. Because if the objective for the Atlanta Falcons is to win championships, more so than develop young talent and to bring in the next great quarterback or the potential of the next great quarterback, to Michael Vicks, to Matt Ryans, and then you pass that down to another guy like Michael Penix, I say just have the conversation. And to be honest, would I be upset? I would have a problem with it, because I think if that was the case, if you end up trading Michael Penix, for me, it becomes just like, all right, so what is the real focus of this organization? Do you really want to worry about, do you really want to win championships? Do you really want to develop talent? Do you really want this organization to be more so known about having good quarterbacks? What is it? So it will confuse me. I wouldn't have an issue with it, but these are the things that you have to take in consideration in regards to whether or not the Atlanta Falcons trade Michael Penix for an elite rusher. If they go out and they bring in a Myles Garrett or a Max Crosby, the only way for me to do that, and I believe the only way for the Atlanta Falcons to even to get a guy like that, I think Michael Penix at some point will be in the discussion for any, especially a team like Cleveland, especially a team like the Raiders. I think the Raiders would definitely listen to the conversation. Why? Because obviously, with them signing Desmond Ritter, these guys want to have another. They want to have another. They obviously looking for another quarterback or a quarterback. So I think they'll be interested. But will they do it? No, I don't think they'll do it. And the next question is Atana to Raby. My question, Mike, is how in the complete hell is Jimmy Lake still a resident of Atlanta? We should have sent Peachtree movers to him last week. And this is my honest opinion about it. I think it's a misguided anger. I think when it comes down to a lot of coaches, like these are the things that we've briefed you guys pretty much for the last 9 months. We've been telling you guys this. When they decided to hire these guys, a young coaching staff, instead of going with the Bill Belichick, this was going to be the process. Okay, when you bringing in a young head coach to develop talent and they're bringing in young coaches, this is going to be a part of the process. And the process for the Atlanta Falcons is not only with the young player, but with a young coaching staff. A Zach Robinson, a Jimmy Lake. These guys are young. Okay, these guys are strong, young. They do have older, experienced guys. And Ken Zampese, he's a guy who's been in the league for a while. Jerry Gray. So they have guys that's been in the league for quite some time. But these are the things when you put these young guys like a Zach Robinson and a Jimmy Lake at the forefront and to be the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, these are the things you're going to see. You're going to see inconsistent game plans. You're going to see things in the game plan that frustrates you. And to be honest, if you look at Jimmy Lake's philosophy, for the most part, his philosophy is to play a lot more man and to be aggressive as far as the blitz is concerned. So when you see certain blitz packages being implemented with this defense, a lot of it isn't just Jimmy Lake. This defense, for the most part, is one guy's defense. And I think this is misguided. I think this is misguided anger, because the focus should really be on Raheem Morris. He's the defensive. This is his level of expertise, is being on the defense side of the ball. Yes, he's been, assistant head coach and putting together passing game concepts and whatnot. He's done that and been a wide receivers coach, but his level of expertise has been the defensive backs and defensive side of the ball. So when you see these things being implemented, or the lack of certain things being implemented, it really isn't Jimmy Lake. Jimmy Lake is just doing what he's told. Raheem is the guy for the defense. This is his defense. Okay? Make no mistake about it. This is his defense. This is not Jimmy Lake's defense. Jimmy Lake's defense is very aggressive. He uses his DBs to blitz off the edges. He uses his linebackers. He uses every aspect of defense to get after the quarterback. All right? He likes to be aggressive. He likes to be blitzed. And we haven't seen a lot of that consistently with this defense. So should we fire Jimmy Lake? Don't think we should fire him, but we should give him a break, because, again, this is one of the reasons why I was upset with this past game, is because Raheem, he said he was going to be a little bit more aggressive. He's going to get out the quarterback and move them off the spot. And we're doing that, but with the secondary, we're playing 5 and 10 yards off of these guys. You can't have both. You can't be aggressive and then with the secondary, you want to play off coverage. So my thing is, man, I say Jimmy Lake, just give him time because, like I said, this is his first year as a defensive coordinator. Zach Robinson is first year as a offensive coordinator, and a lot of these guys are really just now implementing certain schematics in regards to what they want to do defensively and what they want to do offensively into this game. So I'm not frustrated with Jimmy Lake. I think he's doing a wonderful job as a defensive coordinator, especially a guy being young. Falcons still have a long way to go as far as, an identity in what they want to do defensively. And I think that's more of the issue. Obviously with the personnel, you got to understand what you are and what you want to do and stick to that. And I think the Falcons are finding out, and they're still experimenting. I won't say experiment; it's probably the wrong word, but they're still implementing some things defensively, and kind of figuring out what the current personnel the Falcons have, what they want to do. So I don't have a problem with it. I really don't have a problem with it. But like I said, at the end of the day, man, we have to be patient with these guys. Jimmy Lake is a young defensive coordinator who hasn't had a lot of time as far as calling plays defensively. And he definitely needs to get better in some areas. And like I said, for me, it's the pressures and the off coverage, learning when and when not to play off coverage. Offensively, Zach Robinson, obviously, when to stick with the passing game and have a plan with the play action, a little bit more motion with the quarterback, getting him out on some boot and roll out, some play action and stuff like that. Do more of those things. But for the most part, man, I think the Falcons are doing pretty good. Again, defensively, they need to stop the run a little bit more. Obviously, finish the sacks with their pressure opportunities. And like I said, offensively, for me, man, I think they really just need to consistently, ride the hot hand. And I'm talking about consistently ride the hot hand and stop experimenting. And this is some of the conversation that I was having with the fellas in the group also, that we need to stop experimenting at the expense of the current game. And I think those are the things. We're so focused on the next game and getting to the next game that we're not looking at the game at hand and say, all right, this game, we need to run the ball because we're running the ball. We need to use play action because we're running the ball better. We need to do more of that instead of focusing on implementing certain schemes and schematics and rotations and whatnot. So with that being said, man, this has been your boy Mad Mike with another Atlanta Falcons Nation AskMADMIKE segment. If you guys do not, all right, if you have not, head over to 6MK Live. We're going to be doing the 6-man combo with the host, 6-man K Styles. The link will be in the description, in the comment section. And if you have subscribed to Coach Unchained, again, we're having a giveaway. When we get to 500, get Coach to 500, we're going to have a giveaway for that. But head over right now to Coach Unchained. Coach Unchained. The link will be in the comment section for you guys. And comment. If you have, just write or type subscribed to Coach Unchained so we can help him get to 500, man. So with that being said, this has been your boy Mad Mike with another segment of Ask Mad Mike. All the questions that you guys leave, not only on this video, will be in video form like this. So continue to support your boy here, Mad Mike Sports, man. I'm out of here, man. Peace.